All right, it says we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. We're the early crew, as always. I'm Chris Dark. One of these days, I'm going to remember to do this before we go live. Thank you. I'm Chris, Dark Avenger C86. Next to me is Cat Comic Uno.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hopefully joining us soon will be Mike, Spider Slayer, Comic Book Corner 2.0, where this is Simu podcasting, casting 2, whatever. And Brant, Last Ember Press Fowler. Mike, due to Brock 18, will not be with us again this week. He's been very busy with school, and I forgot to do this last week, so I don't forget this week. Okay, Joe. Okay, so now that was on the show for at least a moment, I'm happy. So we had a few people saying hello. We had the Black Knight said hello. JD's waiting for the show. And there we go. That's all I got so far.
Well, hey guys, welcome to the show. I just realized Chris did not mark down the news, so this is going to be fun.
I did mark down the news. Holy moly, I didn't. Hold on, I'm going to do it real quick. So, entertain them for 5 seconds. I'm so sorry. I thought I did. I must have, and it didn't save.
Yeah, I mean, that happens with the Google Docs sometimes. We have it looks like a new viewer, Scoundrel Gaming Superheroes Are My Life. Hello, I'll be on for a bit. Well, welcome.
Yes, yeah.
I guess as Chris looks down the news and we wait for our crew, I will reference that, yes, the Kickstarters for like Follow Like Daughter and Last Ember is still going on. We'll do a better, description of them towards the middle of the news and once we get to the comics. But we have those Kickstarters. My comic is about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her, and then she inherits his abilities. Then we have Brant's kind of similar tone / themes where we get to see a teenage girl find out she's a fire goddess. So please, 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 if you guys could back that up, we really would appreciate that greatly. And we're both funded, and we're going into stretch goals. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're subscribed. And yeah, we're going into stretch goals. The more backers we get, the better the comic can be. And this is the slow part of Kickstarter. So make me and Brant's day. Kick it. Back it up for $1. That's all we're asking for.
Don't kick it. Back it up.
Back it up. Kick it. Anything you want to do, just $1 is appreciated. We would.
No, Tevia, they both don't have the same story.
No, not the same story, but we do have that print, and I'll screen share it now. We do have the print with them together.
Kat was able to cover the whole meat marking all the news down again, so.
There we go.
Hello.
Then we'll get into the news. That is the print. Again, we're going to promote this again after the news, but if I'm sorry, it's been a really long day. That's
been in a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, I did a lot of podcasts. It's been a long week. It's been a long Kickstarter. So please help support so I don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over again. But yes, this is the print. If you back it up for a physical edition for Last Ember and like Follow Like Daughter, you will get this gorgeous print. And we're really proud of that. And yeah, I hope you guys could support. Again, we'll mention this later on twice after the show, but we're also trying to stall for time.
Who made the art?
It is Paper Cat. I will show you their Twitter because we got time. If you want to see what their Twitter looks like and what their work is, we're going on Twitter. Paper Cats. Here we go. So this is the artist right here. Here's some of her work. That's another one of her works.
I remember that book.
Yeah, I forget
what. Oh wait, is that the cosplay? Is that the one from the book that's coming out? No, A Man Among Ye. Next
no, this is Supergirl. So that's Lena. But I could definitely see like they have the same like suave to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's some more of her art. So if you like her art, please support her. She's really great, and we love her work. And me and Brant are definitely gonna be working with her again. And we love that print. So hopefully you guys could again support those two Kickstarters and make our brains feel a little better. Because again, this middle of the road Kickstarter stuff is the hardest.
Supporter, you feel when I break you.
Thank you, Chris. I'm glad you were able to make the show. But yeah, hopefully you guys could support. But let's get into the news. I know you're not here for me to babble all day about Kickstarter. So I'm trying to see what Brant and Mike hasn't marked down. First up, we could talk about, which I'm sure Mike actually would want to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it now. She-Hulk gets an Immortal Hulk treatment for Empire One Shot. I feel like that's about time, right? Like that's
yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised she hasn't been in this series.
I'm glad that they're doing it. And there was somebody in the comments. I'm sorry, I'm fixing something behind my screen. And there's actually a possibility that we might get She-Hulk back to the way she was. I don't know why they haven't done it sooner, because I mean Bruce is alive again, and wasn't the whole her freaking out and losing control of her She-Hulk persona because he died? I mean, he's alive again.
Yeah, that whole entire story, and then they did do the PTSD story. She was okay, not okay, but as okay as you can be. And then when she went to Avengers, they totally
milked it.
Milked it. Went back to whatever it was. So I hope they kind of dig back into the psyche of She-Hulk. I think that'd be cool. I just don't know if they know what to do with her. Sadly,
She-Hulk with no green is just she.
That's true.
It is.
So that's She-Hulk news. We're going to move on to when I saw this is crazy. X of Swords, I think that's what the event's called.
Yeah, okay.
24 parts. I've never seen a book that's 24 parts, and that's a good thing.
I mean, when Corona was here, before Corona, it was going to be 12 issues. Now they doubled it to 24. I mean, and this is going to be what, an every single week book or an every other week book? What are we doing here?
And I think that's a shame especially because Marvel, it looks like they've been ending a couple of series. They've been moving digital, and they're like, no, let's just put all our efforts into one event. It's like, it would be nice to have the chance for like Ghost Spider or what else is digital? Ant-Man or whatever, these miniseries to finish. But now you're like, no, let's have more parts of X of Sword.
So that's what they did. They decided, okay, we're going to make these digital only so we can save money on printing, so we can make 24 of those.
Yeah, definitely not a fan of that.
This better be good. That's all I'm going to say. This 24 issue crossover event for X-Men better be good, because if not, then I'm getting everything in trade anyway.
I'm not going to get all of it.
I'm getting everything in trade. So
we got Ola from Tree Bark. Also, we have a question from Scoundrel.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Yeah, what should you start reading with She-Hulk? Honestly, I think Dan Slott's She-Hulk is a really good spot to start. It's like the beginning of the modern age for She-Hulk. The 80s might be too old for some people. It's very 80s. But I like it, but it might not be for everybody who's used to modern comics. So, I think that you should start out with that one. I think that's a good place.
Mm-hmm.
How's Ghost Spider dead?
She's not.
She's alive. Which means Spider-Gwen's dead. No.
Tevia, you hate on everything. Why are you watching a comic show that you hate 90% of the books?
Yeah, I mean, things going digital, just, it's the way.
I think that a lot of people are voicing their opinion that they don't like the digital only stuff, and they hate that they're doing it in the middle of the series. So I don't know if Marvel will be like, oh, hey, it's September. We caught up with everything. We're going to start releasing these books physically for those of you that started the series. Yes, you do, Tevia. Hey, we're going to start printing them for you too. That's what I'm hoping happens eventually. Digital first is fine. Digital only, little problem. And that's only one book, Tevia. Name more than one. And don't say Super Sons. It's over.
Oh, Mike needed the link, so I'm going to send it.
Oh, you need the link? Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad I checked Facebook. So I was like, I just want to make sure no one's saying anything. Okay. We'll see where all that goes for Marvel Comics. Let's see what else we got here.
Didn't come out yet, Tevye. You can't like. Well, it just came out today. No spoilers, but you can't like it if only one issue's out.
Let's talk
about how the rest of the series goes.
Let's talk about the Marvel reprint for X-Men Evolution. I'm excited for this. I love X-Men Evolution, the show, and I think
it could be a teaser. You know what it could be, Kat? As fans of the show, this could tease that maybe Disney Plus will bring it back for a season.
That'd definitely be cool. I don't know if Disney Plus will anytime soon, just because all their stuff hasn't been released yet. All the stuff they've announced. I don't know if they would start a new thing, but I think it's cool. Maybe they'll continue in comics. That'd be kind of interesting.
I'll take that too. Yeah, absolutely. I see Brant. Hi, Brant.
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys.
No problem.
He's in the dock.
Yeah, I forgot to turn the other light on.
Right now I'm highlighting all the stuff we talked about because my brain's honestly not working at 100% right now. You should have saw me.
Chris said it's the 20th anniversary of X-Men Evolution. That could be why, but I'd still like to see the show come back.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely the reason. Hey, Mike.
I'll be right back.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Reprint X-Men Evolution had comics. Yeah, it's a reprint. So it's they did have comics. There were like 12 issues. They were tie-ins. They're not that great, but if you like the show, they were fun to have. I think I have all the original ones in my collection somewhere.
I have none, so I'll probably get this reprint.
It's still not very bright. Oh well.
I can see that.
You're hiding in the shadows a bit, but
yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. We talked about the She-Hulk getting the Immortal Hulk treatment for one shot. We talked about Exoswords being 24 parts and the X-Men Evolution reprint comics, if you guys want to discuss any of that.
I didn't even know about the She-Hulk.
Yeah, that was announced today, so I snuck it in there.
So it's like it's a one shot?
Yeah, supposedly it's connected a lot to Empire. Something's going to happen to her in that event, and they have a one shot called Immortal She-Hulk.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting. I'll check it out, to see what it's about. And if it's a one shot, why not, right? So
and who's writing the waters? Let's see. I don't think I even read who was writing it. Al Ewing is actually writing it. So the same writer as Immortal Hulk. So that's gonna be cool. Okay. I'm actually pretty excited for that now.
Yeah, that's definitely worth a check out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't even look honestly when I read the article. So I'm glad you asked.
The only one.
And then,
yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, go ahead, Bert.
I was gonna say the only one that I was interested at all in was the Exoswords, and it's like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going to try first two and give it a shot. If I don't like it, I don't know if I'm going to pick up 24.
Yeah, that's a lot of X-Men.
Is that the main story being that long?
I think they're probably counting tie-ins. I didn't look, but it's 24 parts. I'm guessing they're counting tie-ins.
They have.
It's a 15. Okay. So what they said, it's a 15-part story. So the 15 parts is the regular story, and then I guess the rest is tie-ins.
Probably the main titles and whatnot, yeah.
But look, I'm looking at so a lot of it's just tying into the books. So there's not really an X-Sword book like usual. It's just like it ties into Excalibur. So whatever, you just read what you want to read, I think.
It's like Executioner's Song back in the day. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Where it crossed over all the X titles. Yeah.
I'm not reading all of that. That's for sure.
No. I'm not. Yeah, it's like they're wanting to pick you to pick up the titles that people aren't reading. That's a clever way to get people to buy stuff they don't really want to read.
Especially in a time of canceling a lot of their stuff, and after coronavirus, and not having much.
Yeah, I'll read the books I always read, and I'll read the event itself. Otherwise, not reading it.
Yeah, except there might not be an event itself. Yeah. That's what you were saying, right, Kat? There's not an actual Exoswords book. It's just
I think there's maybe like an epilogue or a prelude.
I thought they were doing an Alpha and Omega.
Exactly. I think they're just doing the Omega. Like they'll do one shots from what I'm seeing from the list very quickly. But there's not like an event like 7-issue series.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought it was. I didn't realize that. That's when Brant said it's like Executioner Song. That thing crossed over in everything.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It sounds like a lot of comics. I think I'm only reading 2 of the X-Men books. I'm reading Marauder. I guess it depends on the new books too, because we haven't gotten any new books yet to say if we're reading them or not.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the 3 stuff we talked about. Any other stuff, or we want to move on for those?
No, we can move on. We're good.
All right, we'll go to the media news, and first up is that I'm trying to highlight these that way I don't skip anything. Wonder Woman sequel moves to October, which is a no-brainer. I'm happy to hear it. Excited for when we actually get to see the movie. I don't know if October is even enough time, but I'll go see it when it's safe to see it.
Yeah. Right? Because it's like things aren't going to be open that soon. I can't see movie theaters being open that soon, right? Unless
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
like
movie theaters are 50% here in Florida.
oh, are they? Well,
Oh.
they may be here too. Then I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if New
I
York
can
will be open in
understand.
time.
I can understand though, because you want movie theaters to be 100%, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you don't want just 50% of your audience, so it makes sense why to push it back. They're going to push it back as far as they can possibly go in order to get that audience in there. So I totally get that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll be chancing it if it's not if things aren't better, right? I'll just wait for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't want to say that about Wonder Woman, but you want to be safe.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I want to support it, but at the same time, it's like, yeah.
JDS, has anybody rented a new release through your cable service?
I haven't, but I think Mike has, right?
I haven't.
I did Trolls.
Oh, so did JD.
Yeah. I did Trolls. Trolls World Tour. It was the $20 release. So that's the only one that I actually did. And ever since that day, we have a movie night now at our house all the time.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. So every Sunday
last
we
time
watch
I
a
saw
different movie.
You see movies on a weekly basis, and I've been catching up on TV, so I've been happy about that and just trying to do that because I never really had time to do it. All right, let's go into the next topic, which if Michael was here, I'm sure he would have a field day about. But Miles Morales is kind of getting a video game, so they did give us a little bit more information. It's an expansion of the original game. So it's the original game for PS5, but they have Miles Morales parts to it.
Oh, so they're re-releasing the game with extra DLC. Oh, that ruins it. He should have got his own game. That was such a perfect setup for a sequel.
Hopefully they're testing waters.
Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. And if that leads to an eventual Miles Morales game, that's only a good thing. A little disappointing, but still.
But I was surprised they announced something so soon because I was like, whoa, when did they have
They announced a lot. They announced a lot when they released the PS5. They announced Resident Evil 8. They announced a lot of games.
Yeah, but I mean, since Spider-Man PS5 came out less than a year ago, and they were going to have a sequel like a year later, I didn't see that
That's what I was questioning. It makes more sense now, but it's sad in a way because I wanted a little bit. Well, you know what? You probably can still play as him in the free roam as well, so it's still cool.
I did not get the wrong information, Tevye. This is from Games Radar about the Miles Morales expansion. I'll give you the link. That was announced a day later, so I'll get you the link for it.
And Mike Manhattan also said that's it's not an expansion. Guys, you got to check your news because sometimes things are released and then they actually release the full story. Treebark is saying that Tevye is right too.
Let's see, because I saw a news piece. Unless they changed their mind once again. Oh no, I'll look into it, guys. I'm sorry if I was. Oh nope, 4 days ago now, so they updated the article. You guys are right. So they just updated that is a standalone game. You're right, Tevye.
Way to go, Cat.
I know. The one time I'm wrong. No, they had an article. They are so wrong. They had an article announced the first day, and they said it was a full game. The day after, they said it's not a full game, and now 4 days later, they say it's a full game. So
it's coming the holiday season. I just looked it up.
But also, I feel like that doesn't even make sense. How long did it take them to make that game?
Well, maybe you are right, and the game will start off with the actual Spider-Man PS4 game, and then transition into Miles, and then the game just keeps going.
Which would be smart because I believe people didn't get the Spider-Man game from the PS4 if they're getting a PS5. I'm curious to see what they're going to end up doing because that's what I read. Again, the day after they said it was going to be, they're going to have the stuff from the original PS4 game, which I think would be smart if they did. But yeah, I'm not a video game expert, as you could see. But any other thoughts on the Miles Morales? Are you guys getting the PS5?
No, the specs for the Xbox Series X were better. I'm getting Xbox first.
Eventually, because
I think we'll get.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Brett.
No, I was just gonna say I'm a PlayStation guy, so eventually, but not right away.
They're quoting it to be $700.
Like I said,
What?
not right away.
Yeah, Mike,
Yeah, I'm
there was
not getting
speculation, and people have been probing Sony to give a definitive answer, and the last answer they gave was, we're not thinking about the price, we're thinking about the quality, which whenever any company says that, that means that it's $700. They're just not going to tell you yet.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
getting it.
No.
I'm
And
not
if the
doing that.
Xbox
Wait.
is 700, if the Xbox is 700, I'm not doing the Xbox either. I am not. No
I would
way.
just
I have the one. It's fine. I'll keep the one for now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to be in the old
I'll-
systems for another year.
I'll
Go,
put
Brant.
this into perspective. Lisa just had a computer built, $800,
There you go. There's the,
and it can run games.
There you,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
And I just got well, last year it was a brand new, up to date. I'm sure certain things were updated, but I got basically a brand new computer myself. So yeah, no, I'll run my Xbox Series X games on my
That's insane.
PC for a while.
That's
Till I can
I mean,
actually afford it.
look for the Switch. I think they're releasing Breath of the Wild 2. I think this holiday season too. So if they're not releasing a system, but they're going to be releasing a game that a ton of people are going to be playing. So $60 compared to 700 is huge, and being in the financial situation that a lot of people are going to be in this holiday season,
Right.
I don't know if they can go out there and spend that $700.
Mike, you make an excellent point. I didn't even think of that until you started talking about it. With everyone who has been out of work for an entire almost half a year, $700 for a game console is just not going to happen.
I think even if you were in work, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. And I think with what Mike was saying, Nintendo, you get that 2D version or whatever, the one that doesn't go to the TV, and it's like what, $100 and something or $200.
Even then, the regular Switch is only $250. That's still that's way cheaper than $700.
And you have games like going crazy with Animal Crossing and stuff like that. So
I just got Uno for my Switch. It was on sale for like $8.
Yeah, I've heard like you got
a
lot of those board games on there too.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Breath of the Wild 2,
which is what I'm getting.
mean, how many hours of gameplay is that going to give you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. So I'll probably be waiting for a sale and you know what? It's always good to let the first wave of consoles come out without buying them, because 90% of them.
Then they do a second one and they're cheaper. They'll do like another version.
Exactly. But also the bugs. Do you know how many bugs are in consoles when they first come out? It's horrible, especially when the PlayStation 3 first came out. It was riddled with bugs. I'll wait till the second, maybe even third wave where there'll be discounts, because I can't afford $700 for one, let alone for two.
Yeah, I only think I would want is like Resident Evil, Call of Duty. Resident Evil, I'm sure they'll come up with like Xbox One or something. But anyways, let's get into some more comic news. I know Brant wanted to discuss this. Firefly gets a first comic book event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little behind on the series. I kind of fell off of it a bit, but I think it's really cool that they're expanding that universe. And I was reading a little bit of it, and it's like Mal's a sheriff, and he's got some kind of sidekick, and you're just kind of expanding that whole Firefly universe, which I think is really cool. And it's if we never got a revival of the TV show or a reunion show or anything like that, so at least there's a cool comic series and they're doing something with it. So I'm happy about it.
For sure. All right, let's get to the next thing here. There's a handful of Marvel titles get return dates here. I think there's actually even more than this, but this is from the list. Earlier, I think 2 days ago. Miss Marvel being the big one returning. You have Shang-Chi that finally gets a date here. So some of the stuff that we've been waiting for the summer is going to be in September. I'm glad to hear the reason I want to discuss this, I'm glad to hear Miss Marvel is not going digital. So I was kind of scared about that.
Yeah. I think that's the only one of those that I'm actually reading. So,
Same.
Again, those sales are, on some of those books are low. But, when you get like, what was the other book? Would you just Strikeforce?
Strikeforce was one, yeah.
Why is that still ongoing? Like, why doesn't that
Michael loves it? That's why. Michael loves it.
Because Michael reads very few books and he reads that. So Marvel's like, we
no
gotta
one
keep that
talks
busy.
about Strikeforce, Like, I'm so curious on the sales of that book. Like, that's why I don't understand Marvel's reasoning behind what books go to digital.
Yeah. I will say there's some information about Spider-Gwen tomorrow. That's all I'll say. There'll be some information.
Okay. Yeah,
that's all I can
because
say.
issue 10 comes out tomorrow digitally. Obviously.
It's ending.
I can't say anything. I'll tell you guys later,
know.
but I can't say anything.
Next issue, the conclusion.
You'll see. You'll see what happens tomorrow. All right.
Next issue, we go back to print, baby.
You never know. You never know what get Spider-Gwen. That's all I'm saying. You got to get that Spider-Gwen to find out, or check out some website that announce it tomorrow. The next thing is Joshua Williamson was announced to take over Justice League. So he did Flash for a while, and he's like, you know what? I want to write Flash more, so I'm going to write Justice League.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about it because, I mean, Justice League's kind of been it's been really hit and miss.
Oh, you did.
What's that? Oh,
no,
been really hit and miss anyway, and Flash has been really hit and miss for me too. So it's like, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about it. I love his writing on some things. I mean, Birthright, right? But
that's true.
But his Flash run, I've just not been a huge fan of. So I don't know.
Justice League, it takes me a lot to want to read a Justice League book. I don't think.
But this is during. I think he's writing it during Death Metal, though, too, right?
I guess so. I don't know when it starts.
I think so.
I think that's when I read the article. I think that's when he said, when he's jumping on is while Death Metal is going on. So that's when he's starting it.
That makes sense if Vendetti's ending his run.
I'm interested in seeing where it goes for sure. You can leave that open, by the way.
I'm just sharing this for one reason. Sorry, wrong one. That is a new spelling of my name. I have never been called before. So congrats on the originality there. I'm just that's a new one for me. I appreciate that.
I like it. I'm gonna call you that.
That's
more
gonna
often.
be your name from now on, Mr. Crawler.
Mr. Crawler.
But it's also it's Bryant. It's a Brian Crawler.
Well, I've been called Bryant before, but Crawler's
Here's your new wrestling name, Brant.
Yeah. Bryant Crawler. Yeah. There we go.
That's funny. Well, next up for DC news, we do have Shazam title is ending in September. Man, this book has been on a roller coaster of everything. First, they're ending.
What are you talking about, Kat? I was too busy.
Shazam
is ending. And first it's just like, all right, Jeff Johns is out. They get a filler issue that wasn't announced, and they're just like, you know what, we give up.
That's what I feel like they did. Literally, they're like, oh, we lost Jeff Johns. It's okay. We're gonna keep going. We can still make this a good series, just like Greenland. No, we can't. We're done.
The sad thing is the fill-in issue, last issue, was probably the best issue in a while.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of sad. Now it's just like at this point it's like it's about time. Just put it out of its misery and
just finish it.
Go.
Just let it go. Let it. Yeah. Maybe we'll get another one 12 years from now or something.
Yeah.
That thing is just like it was like on its like life support. That book.
Yeah.
It was on life support
like you were
before
just
Corona.
It's a shame.
I know. I mean, but it was like you were just waiting for it to get that cancellation point, and I'm happy I didn't start reading it again because people are like, "Oh, Mike, you should start reading it. This is going on in it," and I'm just like, "I'll read it in trade. I'll just do that."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even think it's worth reading it in trade at this point. I feel like it's been nothing. It's been nothing.
Like that's what everybody's talking about. See, we're doing it again, and I've noticed it every week. We're talking about it more and more. Reading it in trade. Am I going to start collecting my DC and Marvel books in trade because of the digital only and the canceling and the what do you call it? What's the other thing that's going on? And the way they're doing the shipping for single issues and stuff? I think that's what's going to happen with me eventually. All of my collection is going to be trade paperbacks and hardcovers from Marvel and DC, not from the independents.
I just think it depends on like the series, right? So if you have a 12-issue series, like, then why not? Why not wait for it to get in trade? Especially if it doesn't really mean anything, right? If you have a book that wound up starting off physically, went to digitally, and you want to complete it, yeah, then you get to trade, right? I mean, those things make sense. I mean, unfortunately, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you don't know if a book is going to last, and I think that's frustrating. Yeah,
if it's going to last, if it's going to go to digital only, if it's going to flip off to something else completely. And Black Knight Superboy Prime didn't happen in Shazam yet. It's coming. It's the next.
It did. He appeared.
No, it did.
He appeared. He appeared, but there's going to be a.
There's only one issue left, Chris.
Yeah, they're not going to be doing anything with
it. So I guess that's it. Then
that's what I'm saying. It, like Kat said in the chat, it just went nowhere. So that's what I was going to say too.
Oh, I thought that it was still going to happen, at least the fight.
It maybe it will, but if it does, that's it.
It's going to be quick. It's going to be a quick fight. That's for sure. All right, well, let's move on to some more DC news here, and that is Deadshot dies in Suicide Squad.
Question mark.
Question mark is like, does anyone really die?
Right.
I added the question mark to that one. I don't even think the article did.
I don't think he's going to die.
I was like, how would they spoil something? How can you spoil something like Deadshot dying? It can't be him. There's no way it's him.
Yeah.
Or he stays dead. There's just no way that Tom Taylor would tweet that type of spoiler in there, because that's a big deal. Like, Deadshot's been in the series for how long? Forever, right?
Yep.
I can't see it happening. If it does, I mean, he's going to come back anyway. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like misdirection to me. It feels like just.
It's got to be.
Promote the book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing well. I've been enjoying Suicide
It's a good book. Yeah, I enjoy it. I know Kat doesn't, but the rest of us enjoy it.
I'm debating if I want to share this or not. No, I'm not going to. I'm looking at a comment, but I'm not going to share it. It's second to last one right now, at least.
Yeah, we don't have to share that. All right, let's move on to the next thing, which is Joker gets a one-shot that includes Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain, and Luke Fox. I just want to talk about this because, like, Stephanie Brown's in it. That's it. No, I want to get it because also I like her banter with Cassandra. But yeah, that's it.
But what's the one-shot about? Like,
I don't know. All I know is that Stephanie's in it. All right, let's see though. I think it's an anthology book. It's called Allies in the War Zone. So I think it's gonna be kind of like a filler. What are the heroes of Gotham doing during Joker War? Yeah, it's an anthology.
Okay.
I wish I cared more about Joker War.
I mean, me too. We'll get there. We're gonna definitely talk about Punchline and all that one.
I think Joker War is gonna be probably better than we might think it is. I think it's gonna be better than
I have literally no expectations. So if it's better than my no expectations, I'll be happy.
You just said it. I have no expectations whatsoever. So it's going to surprise me no matter what.
Exactly. If it's bad, then it's surprising. If it's good, it's surprising. I hope it's not middle in the road because then
it's getting me to read Batgirl. I've been enjoying Nightwing the past 2 issues again. I mean, there's hope.
I'm sorry for you to read Batgirl. I feel like nothing's happened in that book.
I haven't read Batgirl yet, so I'll be reading it when it hits the
Nightwing. Okay, the beginning we'll talk about later, but I think the end of Nightwing was good, not necessarily the rest of the book.
I will say that
I was doing my review. Let's save this for when we're talking about the book, because then I feel like
save it. But we will say that Michael gave us an article he thought that Dick Grayson's new name was Dickie Boy. I'm like, no, it's just a panel. Don't worry about it.
Dickie Boy, that was good. The ending.
We'll get there. We'll definitely get there. Okay, let's get into Tom Taylor is going to be on a Constantine Black Label mini.
Well, Michael will be happy.
If anybody can make Constantine readable, it's Tom Taylor.
Yeah, I might actually give it a try just because Tom Taylor is writing it. But we'll see if he can get me into the character, because I've never been a huge Constantine person. So
me either. I really hate magic, so I can't see myself liking it, but who knows? We'll see what type of week it looks like. Were you going to say something, Brant?
Not really.
You really are that excited.
Nah.
He's like, hey. Okay.
I'm one of the people that like the Keanu Reeves movie, so all my
So you have no
dread
I like
goes
the
away.
Keanu Reeves movie as well before I
Yeah.
even knew about the character, and then you see the
Right.
character, and it's like, oh, that's what he was. Well, it's still a good Keanu Reeves movie.
Right, exactly.
Cool
yeah.
in Legends. Tevye asks, why can't Cass become Batgirl? Why can't anybody become anything, right?
What
Like
thing? Barbara Gordon is Batgirl. The end. Move on.
that is a good reason, but I mean, it goes down to anything, right? Why is Dick Grayson not Batman? It's just everyone
He
has
was
their favorite.
Batman
Exactly, but why is he not Batman now, Chris?
because he's Dickie
I want
Boy.
no, but I need Dickie Boy to be Batman.
Dickie Boy.
Everyone has their favorite era of comics, and why is Tim not the regular Robin? Things change, things get shaped differently, and
Why
things go back
Dick
to normal.
Grayson is
Also,
like a
Dumbest name in the
Daredevil
world right now.
ripoff right now.
Drake.
with a horrible mask.
Yeah, it's bad.
Hell of a guy. Oh wait, no.
I
Hell
miss
of a
Tim
guy.
Drake.
Wait, Debbie, stop commenting. Thank you. Tom Taylor, hell of a guy. Every time I try to click, Debbie said something else.
I was very confused why you kept saying "hell of a guy."
I was like, I thought you were talking about Tevye. Because you kept showing his comments.
All right, let's go to the next thing, which is if you've been loving anthologies, well, we got another one, and it's a Batman-related one again.
Of course it is.
27 issues later, they decided we're going to have another Detective Comics anthology.
And this
and
one's
I'm
even
like,
bigger and longer.
this one's bigger. I honestly, I think I might have to skip this one. I don't know. I'm not reading Detective Comics. I'm anthologied out. I don't even like anthologies that much.
That's
I
the
just
thing.
don't like them anymore. When it says DC Anthology, I go the other way.
I would rather have some big epic story to celebrate it instead of, let's bring in 15 creative teams and tell their own take on Batman again. No.
27 issues later, this is Batman in the same book. It's not even okay. Let's do Catwoman. Let's do Joker.
Yeah,
it's just the same exact story.
If it was all connected and it made some kind of cohesive story, sure, that might be really cool. I just do something different. Break the mold. That's what
That's why I thought it should have been one big, really. I was talking about this on Friday when they mentioned that 27 was going to be a big Detective Comics issue. I was like, let it be one big, really awesome story, or at least maybe two. Go to two stories if it's so many pages. But an anthology,
they just want to rack the money with these anthologies. They are a lot of money.
That's why they're trying to boost their sales by getting that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, if we charge $10 a book, I think this one was what, 12, or is it?
Probably. Let me look.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think they're like,
I'm like, over 100 pages is going to be a $10.
It's 144 pages.
It's a trade paperback. It's going to be $10.
Oh God, it's $10, but that's all. They've all been $10 so far. So
yeah,
I can't wait for this 80th anniversary shit to end, to tell you the truth.
But they never will end. There's just always another 80th anniversary to celebrate.
But maybe it'll be just characters you don't care about, so you won't buy them. Like Batman, like I care about, right? Catwoman, kind of cool. Green Lantern, I do care about. I mean, those are characters I do like. So I want to celebrate it and do get it, and at least one of them. I just wish they would be more reasonably priced. I mean, we're always going to say something about the price of a comic, right? But if you're going to come out with 10 different covers, make them more affordable so people can maybe buy more of those books, right?
That or just I don't know. It's just me. But
or don't make 10 covers.
That or just stop doing anthologies, like what Brant would say. Just do one story. I just really do not like anthologies that much. Like the only time I think I liked an anthology was probably Love is Love, because it meant something. They were doing it for a good reason. Other than that, I really can't think of an anthology I've actually liked.
And then,
I agree with what.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I do agree with Kat, though. It's like, why can't you do an 80th anniversary issue and kick it off with a really good story arc?
For sure.
Instead of in celebrating 80th anniversary, something like that. instead of just going, oh, like this story, that story, this story. So you do make a great point there.
I'm just getting tired of it. All right, well, let's go.
Wait. I agree with what Ken says. Aren't we oversaturating Joker stories right now? Well, we got the Joker war going on, and Punchline was being thrown out. And this, honestly, I think it would have been mostly through the Joker war by now, if not for the coronavirus. So
Yeah,
it may feel longer because how much they've been promoting it, and then the coronavirus, and then
you have the anniversary issue. But other than that, I feel like we haven't had too much Joker. Like, I think it's just he's appearing.
Once the war's over, he'll disappear for a while again. That's the way the Joker is. He shows up, disappears.
Right. Just think, like, we hadn't had Joker the entire time Tom King was writing Batman.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the next topic before we get into our big one, and that is the new Iron Man creative team has been announced, and it's going to be Halt and Catch Fire's creator Christopher Cantwell, or co-creator, and Cafu, who's been on Valkyrie. And it seems like they're going to be grounding the stories a bit more, and I'm really excited for this. I have seen Halt Catch Fire. It is like technology based, so I think that's pretty cool, like computer wise. And Cafu, man, one of my favorite new artists. I'm actually pretty stoked about this.
Yeah, Cafu
so that was the artist that did Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that art. Sorry, Mike.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say, same like you. Like, that artwork is beautiful.
Yeah, that art is absolutely gorgeous. And I love Halt and Catch Fire. I think it's a really well written show. So I'm kind of excited for the first time in a while for Iron Man.
Same.
I can't wait for the new series. I'm excited, especially with Alex Ross designing. Yeah.
It's gonna be
you know, when this is announced that Dan Slott was leaving, right? It was kind of like, well, you know, who are we going to get on an Iron Man title that's going to maybe take this title to the next level, or start it over again? So I think this is going to. I'm hoping that this is going to be a wise decision, and I like the idea of kind of going back to the roots of the character and you know why people like Iron Man to begin with, right? So I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it to start. When was it again, Kat? Was it September?
I'm guessing it's September if they just announced.
I think they mentioned September or fall. I don't know. It's one or the other.
Let's see. I don't think they've actually mentioned what date. Not from what I'm seeing. Oh, September.
Okay.
It was at the end of the article.
It is
September.
Cool.
I had a feeling because they've been announcing all their September stuff this week. All right, let's go to the last topic, which is the topic of our show. And that is kind of in the same vein of the Joker stuff. Norman Osborn returns to the Amazing Spider-Man. This is interesting because, you know, we had that time, and I think people are still somehow fatigued of Norman Osborn, even though it's been 10 years since Dark Reign. It's been a long time since we had a very big Norman Osborn story. I'm excited because we haven't seen Nick Spencer write Norman Osborn, and I do feel like it's been a while, but we had the Red Goblin stuff, so
yeah. It's also him as Go ahead, Mike.
He wasn't really Green Goblin for all that long in that last story.
Right. Yeah. That's all I was going to say too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
But another big issue though. Another large number page. How much is
milestone?
It? Yeah, I'm so tired of it.
I know.
850.
Yeah. Are they going to stick with the legacy numbering, or are they going back to next issue is going to be issue 50, and that's going to be $10 too, because this is issue 49.
Thank you.
$5.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And we got stickers.
Because it's like issue 49/850. So are they going to do now? Oh, next issue is issue 50. So that's another milestone, and so on and so forth. It's like, but as far as Norman Osborn, we've seen him as everything but the Green Goblin for a bit here. So it's good to have him back as the Green Goblin, but then maybe veer away from the Goblin stuff for a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm hoping that it's a good story. I think we need not that Nick Spencer's run is not poor. It's not bad in any way. but I think we need to take Spider-Man now to the next level. Right? There has nothing been really serious going on in his story. We've been getting Kindred teasers for the entire run. But
this we finally get the Kindred answers. You know that. Every issue we finally get answers.
Of course we do. But nothing ever is next level type of story, like where it's like Spider-Man's like, oh shit. You know, it's kind of just like, you know, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. We'll tease you. It's fun. It's good, but I want some serious stuff going on. So I'm hoping that while this whole Kindred original sin thing is going on, or whatever the heck it was called, that's coming out, you know, gives Spider-Man some action again.
Yeah, we'll see. But that was all the news. That was our big stuff. So before we get into the under the radar, we're just gonna promote again our Kickstarters. And Brant, I'm gonna pass on you because I kind of butchered it when we started the show.
Don't listen to her. She did a very good job, and G.I. Joe. So yes, she did a very good job. I had to find a way to fit it in once.
You didn't know that G.I. Joe is actually in both our comics.
It is.
Yeah, of course.
Brant's a huge G.I. Joe fan.
Yeah, I am too. I'm a big G.I. fan of the Joe.
Cat, stop. You're hurting it.
I'm a fan.
You're not,
Such a good guy.
Name one character from G.I. Joe.
Joe. He's a nice guy.
No. Name somebody else from G.I. Joe.
There is a Joe. There's Joe Colton, the original G.I. Joe.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Easy. Name somebody else.
Scarlet is a girl.
Oh, there you go. She named one.
She wins. Fine.
I win.
She's lying anyway. She doesn't like G.I. Joe. Don't listen to her.
I got a plan. On the count of 3,
Snake.
We're gonna say, "Yo, Joe," and you're gonna flash that symbol.
Wait. Okay. Hold on.
Right.
Let me get it. I'm ready. Go.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Yo, Joe.
My boy Joe. Such a good guy.
Like you were so tired saying Yo Joe.
Oh, I am. That's my energy. My soul dwindles as days pass on.
She's like the sleepy Joe.
I am.
She's like, all right, guys.
Debbie, that doesn't count. That's Cobra.
Hey, he flipped sides, so he was G.I. Joe.
He's only
he did. I remember that arc. It was really fascinating.
It really was. It was a good. That was a good time.
Kat, what happened in that arc?
He switched sides. Things got crazy.
Yeah, they got nuts. That thing with snake eyes, right?
Oh, his eyes. They did look like snakes.
Snake eyes was a man. Those eyes. Oh my god.
Oh, those eyes.
Daggers.
Snake eyes. Then I'm gonna be jealous because nobody's snake eyes.
So I guess I'm talking. I'm going to transition out of that into Kickstarter somehow.
I'm not doing it this time around.
I mean, if you love G.I. Joe, you know,
there you go. There you go. Keep going.
Has nothing to do with either one of our concepts, but it's cool. I'm a G.I. Joe fan, so you know, support
if
me.
You
if
like
you
the men
Joe.
in G.I. Joe, you'll love the women in our books.
Yeah, you'll love the women. There weren't enough women in G.I. Joe, so we're bringing you some women characters here. But no, we both do have Kickstarters going on right now. They end next Thursday, I believe it is June 25th. So
I'm so excited. I'll be sad. Yeah. I'm really excited for this to be over.
yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But yeah, we're both funded and we're both in stretch goals, so that's really awesome. So we're very grateful for that. But mine is The Last Ember, The Last Fire Goddess. They're both teenage women that are learning how to use their powers and, you know, trying to deal with all that comes with that, and a lot of personal drama and angst going on with it too. So The Last Ember #1 Reforged, reforged.lastemberpress.com. Cats is lfld.comicfrontline.com. That's Like Father, Like Daughter issues 1 through 6 if you want to search, and the full links are there in the chat as well. And Kat, you want to do a little blurb for yours?
Yes. So it's about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her. And then she inherits his abilities. I got it down to a T. And in issue 5, it's revealed that Casey's mother is part of the KGB. So issue 6 really navigates her origins, and we're really excited about it. And when I said earlier in the show, if you support our books for $1, even 50 cents, give me a cent. I'm worth a penny, aren't I?
I think technically $1 is the lowest you can go.
No. You can still you can just
PayPal it to Kat.
Yeah, PayPal me a cent. I'll put the backing number in there. In all seriousness, it's honestly, listen to our writer on writer interview. We talk more about the pains and struggles of Kickstarter, but every dollar helps, and every backing helps, and we really do appreciate all that. And you get an awesome print if you support both. So
you can kind of see it in the background, not very clear, but that is a portion of it. It's a really cool, really beautiful print. Yeah, there you go. So that's a little bit of it. That's Casey and Ember, of course. And the last number, real quick, is about a teenage girl who is the last fire goddess, but she doesn't know, and she doesn't know where these powers come from or what they mean, and she's got to figure out how that affects her life and her loved ones, all while avoiding school bullies and someone that is hunting her, bent on her destruction.
Tree Bark asks us to post it at the end of the show. Of course, we'll post it at the end of the show. We're actually going to plug it once again at the end, so we really appreciate that.
Chris has got it on in the comments.
Yeah, he does.
That's awesome.
He does. Thank you. And Chris has always been a great supporter, and we always appreciate that. Real Manos says the cliffhanger, like Follow Daughter issue 5 was a shock. It is. Again, I hope if you thought issue 5's cliffhanger was a shock, issue 8's is going to kill you. You might have a heart attack on the spot, because it's a pretty big shock. It's good stuff. So please support both our Kickstarters if you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so we're moving to Under the Radar, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I guess I will do it since Michael is not here this week. So we're going to be talking about our Under the Radar books, and I'm going to start us off with Stealth issue number 2. If you've not been reading Stealth, I know it's only 2 issues in. The origin of the suit is in this. More about the son confronting his father about finding out he was Stealth from the previous issue. Artwork strong in this book. The story has been really strong. I'm really glad I got into this from Image. I honestly, I was going to let this go under my radar until I think either Mike or somebody or all of us were talking about issue number 1. And I was like, okay, I've got to read issue 1. And I love the series hands down. So the father's suffering from dementia.
Dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. Yeah.
One of them. Yeah. And we don't know if it's him or it's the suit. It's one or the other. But in this issue, the son, after hearing the backstory, takes the suit away and says, you're not suiting up again until we figure out how to fix you. And that's kind of where it leaves off. Really strong. I've been loving it. What about you guys?
And how about the bad guy? He's kind of like a Black Hand. He's like a Black Hand ripoff. You know what I'm saying? He's got that decayed hand, and but he can touch somebody and force someone to tell them the truth. I thought that was kind of cool. And he's old. He's old like Stealth, so he's probably a guy that's like in his probably late 50s, early 60s or whatnot. So I agree with you, Chris. I thought this book was solid. It was a good read, and it gave you a lot. And it's hard to believe that a book like this is only 6 issues. But maybe if it does sell, maybe they'll make it an ongoing series. Because cool. I can see maybe this being passed down to the son.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably where it's headed, right?
Late 50s is old.
Very old.
I'm 45, so I'm almost there.
I mean, the guy's got dementia too, so I mean, it's like early onset dementia.
That's crazy to be like in your 50s and have. I mean, it happens, but it's crazy to also have that as part of the story.
Yeah, and it's that's why his son's like trying to tell him you can't go out there and do this. He's like getting all confused and attacking cops when he thinks they're criminals and all this kind of stuff. So it's crazy, and no, it's been really good so far. It's been a strong series.
Oh, Ken says I'm 66, 50 sometime something isn't old. I'm 10 years away.
Sorry if I offended you. I didn't mean older. So older would be the statement to say. But yeah, he's suffering through all those things at that particular age. So I don't know, man. I think it's the suit that's causing it.
Me too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right, so that was my under the radar. So we're going to go to Mike. What's your under the radar this week?
Mine was actually Adventure Man. Originally, I wasn't going to pick this up, and then I'm like, because I didn't put it on my pull list, because I always do my pull list like a week or two early. And then I was hearing a little bit of buzz about it, and then I'm like, well, if it's there at the shop, I'll pick it up. And most of the time, it always is because I'm the first one in the shop every single week. And older sounds like it takes longer.
Love George Carlin. If there's ever a George Carlin quote, you know I'm going to highlight it.
I have to show you what my shop looks like now, because we pick up outside, so they literally put a table to the door of the comic store, so you have to keep the door open as you try to get your comics. So it's like literally a table right outside the doors. So that's been interesting, and I was like,
yeah, we had some businesses like that too, Kat. Just in general, with a table blocking the door like that. Yeah,
it's interesting.
But usually they use the table to hold the door open. That's what they've been doing over by where I live. So I'm surprised they didn't put the table inside to hold the door open so people don't have
they didn't do that. Yeah, not yet. I mean, it was their first week, so I mean, they'll figure it out as time goes on.
It's table ethics. It's coronavirus table ethics. They'll learn.
So going back to Adventure Man, I thought this book was by Fraction was actually really good.
Yes.
It was like at first when I was reading it, I'm like, this book is dumb.
The first half,
yeah,
get go.
I was like,
it's long.
I was like, I'm being introduced to all the characters, right? I have no idea who they are, why I care about them, and then the story, which is a story, ends, and the real story begins.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, that's brilliant. Mm-hmm. And then the main character, though, what was her name? Carolyn? Claire. Okay, Claire. I thought it was great because it was like she's got this large family. I like how they, how Fraction actually, made it real grounded. They touched on the religion that they were Jewish. I thought that was really cool as well.
I also like the lettering of her hearing aids. I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Takes them out. The word bubbles are still there.
Yeah.
No, the words are still silent.
Yeah.
Hear it.
Yeah. And then then the adventure starts from there. Like she owns this used bookstore and she gets this weird woman that comes, and then you get this guy that's he literally is like Swarm from Spider-Man.
Did you get never-ending story vibe from that for a moment?
No.
I did.
It was definitely a fantasy type, or maybe I don't know, almost I got like a labyrinth feel, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But it was a really interesting read. I really liked the main character. I thought she was great, and her son is obviously going to figure out the things that are going on in this world today, and how all these characters are all connected to this world.
I think descendants. I think they're descendants of Adventure Man. Honestly,
I could see that. I think if they made it issue 0 and issue 1, that would have been, and they should release issue 1 and then release the issue 0, because I do think it was a little long. But Image did it right that they're making it $3.99 and not $10 to buy this issue.
And it's a triple-sized book.
Yeah, and it's obviously a lot to read. But I didn't like those triple size. I kind of wish it was single, and I think it would have been a stronger story. I think there was maybe a little laziness in it because of it, but.
Well, I didn't mind that because, I mean, at first I thought it was like you guys, I thought the lead story was the story. And it was like, okay, well, this is, kind of a classic, their take on classic pulp, which is, it's kind of cool, especially if you're a pulp fan. But then when you get into that and it's like, oh, that's a really interesting twist. So it made me not mind that first part of the story because it kind of connected in that way. And then it's like, okay, now we're going to see her become this character. And that wasn't just a story. It's, it just kind of.
I'm excited for her to be that hero.
Yeah. It just kind of left the collective memory thing.
I was going to say, I blame Ron Fortier for getting me into pulp to begin with. Always talked about it on Film 4, and I was like, okay, I got to read it now.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend this to him because I think he would get a kick out of it. It's right up his alley.
This is cool.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't freak out more when she kicks the character and he's like made out of bees and insects and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
she kind of just
That was gross.
I think she's
right?
been through stuff, though, it seems like. I mean, she obviously lost her hearing for a reason. I think, she's definitely got stuff going on. So, I mean, that's why she wasn't freaked out.
Yeah.
But a great lead character here. I think it just right away, he did a great job at just giving her depth right from the start, Yeah.
It was interesting reading the stuff in the back about how he came up with the characters and the story, and how Doc Savage was an inspiration and all that kind of stuff. It was really interesting reading that.
You could feel it. You truly could feel it while you're reading it. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like we're all coming back for issue 2.
Yeah,
absolutely. This was
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's an excellent book. All right, so that was Mike's. Kat, what was yours?
What was mine? Join the Future, I think, was the only one not in the big books, but I did enjoy this book too. I don't think it was as good as issue 1, just because it slows the story a bit down, but in a good way, because she has to deal with her father and her brother's death, and that these people from the future, not really the future, but that's like what the group is called, destroyed her city of this kind of old Western type story, and now she's gonna want to kill them. So I thought it was a pretty solid issue. I really like this book. I know Brant does not, but I enjoy this book, and I thought it was a pretty solid second issue, but I do think issue 1 was a little stronger.
And nobody else reads it, I'm guessing?
Nope.
I didn't come back for issue 2. Yeah.
All right, so with that, Brant, what did you have for your Under the Radar book?
Excellent. Issue number 7. It came back with a new arc and everything, and
with an excellence.
It's I like where the story's headed. It's like the whole story so far was there's this whole magical kind of committee, or like this whole thing where it's like these in secret, right? So you have these 10 families, and only men are allowed to do it. Only deserving people are allowed to use it. And this kid who was never good enough for his father, he decides that he doesn't like the system, and he's trying to break the system down. So this picks up where it's like 6 months later, and he's trying to put everything in a place where he can finally take the Aegis down, which is what it's called. And he finds out that he's basically all alone. He goes to different people to try to help him, and nobody wants to risk anything because it'll have repercussions on their entire family. So he's basically all alone and trying to, he's been working on this for 6 months, but now they're hot on his trail. He thinks he has more time, but by the end of this issue, he realizes that he might not have as much time as he thought to kind of get everything in place and take this organization down. And this is an 18-year-old kid who has basically taught himself by breaking into the archives and learning all this magic and everything. It's a really interesting story, and I think this issue is actually I think it's gotten stronger as the series has gone on, and this issue is one of the best issues I've read so far. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and with that, we're now going to turn it over to Mike, who will be talking about top books and our top 5.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Big book time. There were some good ones. It was good to actually have which felt like a real comic book week this week. I got quite a few books. And,
I got only 6 this week, but I'm getting 10 tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's not good. If you get 10, that means I'm getting 20.
That's weird.
Probably.
I had 12 this week.
I had
really?
Yeah.
I had less.
I had
tomorrow.
16.
Oh man.
You had 16?
16.
How?
Wow.
I mean, I could list them for you right now. I still have them up, but I won't list my top 5.
Okay.
So there was the secret.
I think I got like 12 or 11 or something like that. And I was like, yeah, it feels like real comic book week for once,
I had more. Well, who read Fearless too? I think that's one that I only read.
Read what?
Faithless.
Oh, Faithless.
No.
Fearless.
I scrolled through
the
it.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I read the first issue of that.
I don't know if I can hold on to this one after this first issue. I'm gonna stick around for the second issue, but if you're going in this direction at the get go,
I mean, it's a very erotic. It's
I
a
was about
very
to say, Wings
erotic
PS,
book.
not really my type of book.
No, this issue, don't read it. No, Brant.
Oh, I didn't even try it because I knew what it was.
He's never going to go there.
This issue, do not open this book.
If he didn't read the first one, he ain't reading the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pulled the stops out from the very first issue for this second round.
So is it on your? You didn't put anything on your chopping block.
It's not
though,
No, I'm coming back for issue 2.
Okay.
Issue
So
2
Chris is on
goes this
board.
round. Yeah, no, I'm still gonna stick around. But if they go in this round, I'm getting off this crazy train early. I like crazy and weird, but this is another level.
I know there was a lot of bugs involved in that book. I just only read that first issue, so I don't know what it's really about besides that first one.
All right, well, let's kick it off with the biggest book of them all.
All right, fine. I'm going to say what's in this one.
No,
Definitely
it's
not
okay.
Facebook.
You don't want me to type it? I'll type it.
I don't care what you type. I know what it's about.
Brant's going to read it next time. Don't worry. He'll be all caught up.
No, he won't read it after I tell him this, but go ahead.
I'm actually
All right,
curious
so-
to know what happened in that book. All right, go on, Mike. Sorry.
So we're going to talk about Batman issue 92.
Okay.
What does this say, this chat?
Don't read it. Don't read it.
Oh,
There's a
boy.
reason I
All
put
right.
it in the chat.
So
Batman issue 92.
interesting multimedia there, but yeah. Go ahead.
This
Mike.
was the long-awaited Punchline issue. She has finally arrived, made her appearance in the book. And, I mean, listen, I thought this book was good.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot happened. I don't think a ton of stuff happened in the book, but I thought the book was very entertaining and I liked it. Like, I like how Harley and Catwoman came to Punchline and they interacted for that first time, and Harley saw her for the first time and she's like, what? And just, I love the interaction between them. I think was cute. And, and then including another cute one on the camera right now.
Uh-huh.
And then we got, was it Batman who was doing the Riddler's game? I thought was really cool because the Riddler thought he had Batman all the way through, and Batman just answered his question one after the other. And that one panel with his smirk on his face was just was awesome on there. Mm-hmm. And the Bat Train and just him and Deathstroke together. Yeah,
which plays into Harley's like, don't you have a private tunnel or something where you don't think, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And the artwork was outstanding in that book. Yeah. It was really. You don't think
Riddler is too wrinkly? I don't know. I feel like all the old men are so wrinkly.
I think he's crazy. He's earned a few wrinkles for sure for that.
Yeah, it's all the stress. I feel like for this issue, I was a little disappointed. I really liked the Harley and Catwoman stuff a lot. But that's all I really liked. I don't really care about, and also Punchline. I think she's just she hasn't met the hype for me. I just feel like all she is hype. Like what, besides her saying, I'm the Punchline, I don't really get why she's so cool.
I love, I love the interaction between Harley and Punchline because she's
I like that.
Oh, girl. We got to talk. You
know, boy, we're going to be having coffee one day.
I think Harley was great in this issue. I think she was really good.
If I had done panels, that panel where she was like, for now, I'm just going to hit you with this big freaking hammer. That would have been definitely one of mine. I actually really like this issue. I thought this was the best issue of this arc for me. I every part of it I loved. I loved the Riddler's game, except for there was one panel where I thought the riddle was a little off because he said like the third letter was a T and then the answer was 12, and I was like, that didn't make sense at all. But okay, but yeah, other than that, I thought it was really good, and the designer being there waiting for Batman, you could see that coming, but I still liked the confrontation there and kind of leading to that ultimate confrontation in next issue and stuff like that. So I thought it was a really good issue.
Right. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just saying I agree, and the Batman and Riddler stuff was just classic.
Right. I think the thing with Punchline is that right away you look at her teaming up with the Joker, and you feel like she's a replacement for Harley.
Well, yeah, I
That's-
don't feel like
that's
she has a
what we look at.
personality
Yeah.
right now, which is like,
Well,
who is she? What
she's
is?
mysterious.
I don't too mysterious for me. I think there's mysterious and
Did
then
you read
there's
Batman
two-dimensional.
Super-
But did you read the Joker thing, the Joker story?
In which one?
The Joker 80th
Her
anniversary.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
That wasn't her origin story though. That was just
I
her.
didn't.
Yeah, it was just her being in a college classroom, like trying to hit somebody and being like, "Oh, well, look at me." Like it wasn't really. I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was gonna be
mean,
her origin.
It's not like, it's kind of like, you kind of get the idea though. Like she's a person that doesn't believe in doing things the right way. She believes that there's room for bad people. And it looks like that she was not just a fangirl of the Joker. It made it feel like she really wanted to, she understood his side of things and wanted to join him. And she had to prove his worth by what she did in the actual, at the college. So basically she is just a normal girl, college kid, probably no more than 22, 23 years old, that sees Joker's way of things. And
See,
so
I didn't even play that as her being in college though. I thought she was just undercover and like she played up.
No, she was in
She was
college.
a
That
student
was her
there.
origin. That was how she joined the Joker.
Is it though? I don't know. I didn't feel
Yeah,
like
she
it.
said that. She
It
actually,
was.
that was her initiation. That was what Joker wanted her to do.
I hate
Yeah.
that. Well, that's the initiation. Does that mean she went to that college?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a student. The dean went to her and talked to her because people got
being bad in class.
intoxicated by the Joker gas, and it was supposed to be a
Oh, okay.
support
You're right.
for the hero. Yeah. So
I,
and
don't know.
that's
I obviously didn't connect to it too much. I don't know. She's just really bland right now. But I hope what you're saying, Mike, and I'm sure that this is part of her story, comes through more for me. And they focus
Right.
more on her as we get along.
I'm confused by a comment, but I'm just going to ignore it, I guess.
In the private chat, let me know which one it is.
All right. So let's move on to the other side of street level characters, and this one is Daredevil issue 20. So I totally caught up with this book right before this issue came out, and I love this book. This book is really good, worth all the hype that people have been talking about, and I've enjoyed the ride. It's basically part 2 of the story called Inferno, and we get to see Stiltman, Rhino, Crossbones. They're all taking over Hell's Kitchen, and it's all Owsley's idea, and it's just this climactic conclusion to this story arc, and we wind up getting to see Typhoid Mary make her appearance in this particular issue, and she was disguised as Sister Elizabeth, that was the nun that Matt was actually seeing. I thought it was a fantastic issue. The artwork by Chiquito is absolutely brilliant, and I'm just happy I've jumped onto the story now. I thought it was really, really good. So I don't know if anybody else caught up to it all the way, but I like it.
Daredevil? I'm caught up all the way.
I haven't had a chance to catch up all the way, sadly.
Ah, man, this was so good. Now we're going into the next part of the story, and I'm just so glad I caught up. So now it's like I'm going into the new arc, having all the knowledge from the previous arc.
Yeah, Matt Murdock, he's dealing with this trauma that he killed this boy, and he's never killed anyone before. Now, keep in mind that.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time what's that?
As a surprisingly enough, he hasn't killed anybody.
And he's felt really guilty about this. He's kind of shaken it. It's kind of messed with his head, where he couldn't fight anymore. He declared himself not Daredevil for a time, and then after this whole thing was wrapped up, we wind up seeing that he puts the handcuffs on and says, "Just take me in." He just just sits there and says, "It's okay." So that's kind of how the story ends, and you're like, "Oh shit, man, this is intense stuff." So we'll see where it goes from now.
There's a rumor about One More Day hitting Daredevil, that Zdarsky is going to actually push a One More Day for Daredevil, and that's going to be interesting.
Really interesting. So great book here. So I liked it. Recommend it to people who have not read it, because people recommend it to me, and since I'm not the biggest Daredevil fan, I pushed it off for the longest time. And I'm happy that there was one thing I got to try during this whole coronavirus thing, and I loved it. So thank you to everybody out there.
Same. I literally ate it up like the first 2 weeks of the coronavirus where we got no new books, and loved it.
Yeah. All right. So then let's move on to the start of our top 5, starting with number 5. And what was my number 5? Oh, a book we already talked about. How convenient. We're starting this already. Stealth. Issue 2.
Yeah, that was mine too.
That was like last week.
That was Brant too. So there you go. There's 2 people down.
All right. Kat?
Mine's Batman: The Adventures Continues, mostly because I only had 6 books.
That's
What was
surprising.
your 6th?
Yeah, you're full of the positivity today when it comes to the comics. Let me just tell you.
Well, when Chris asked me what my 6th was, it was Batman, so I'm really positive.
Oh wow!
Oh man! So Batman Adventures was better for you than Batman issue 92?
Yeah, the wrinkles on Riddler really got to me.
Wow.
No, I the reason I gave Batman Adventures is because they did introduce Jason Todd. They've introduced Deathstroke, which I think is cool, and if you read it together, that's interesting. And the artwork is pretty solid for the book. But the rest of it is pretty boring. So would I recommend this book? No. Is it in my top 5? Yes.
How heavy of
See, I thought the artwork was okay at times, and then other times I felt that it was not trying hard enough.
Mhm.
And I know that the look that they're going for, obviously they're going for the animated series here, but there was times where it just looked like,
Honestly, I kind of agree
I
with
don't
you.
wanna-
I'm looking at scenes. It's like there's a lot of scenes where there's just like nothing going on. There's just panels where there's just a building and there's like a small person. So I could kind of see where you're coming from.
Right.
With that.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like almost too simplistic of an art to go there. I thought like if they could have made it just a little darker tones even, it would have caught more of that essence of the animated show a little bit more, so.
Mhm.
But I like the story. I'm going to be reading the next one when it comes out. I just thought it could have been better. It was kind of just like, oh, I'm a robot and Superman's in the robot and we freed Superman. And I'm like, okay. But I did like the Jason Todd thing. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes.
Mhm.
And Deathstroke, I think, is going to be in there, right?
Deathstroke is in there, in and out of there.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. And then Chris, what's yours?
755 for the Flash. I really like the way they ended the Paradox story arc, and it leads into Finish Line now. And just when you think Zoom, I was reading the book. Yeah, I was like, wow, Zoom is actually, he helps. He finds a way to make Paradox his own Paradox and kind of disappear because he prevents the guy from becoming Paradox by going even further back in time. And then he actually goes back and saves Flash and Godspeed. They make it back to present day. The world is saved. And you're like, okay, Zoom is being too decent. This is weird. Next thing you know, spoiler alert here, everyone, because this is kind of big. He snaps Godspeed's neck and then says, you're going to be chasing me again, Barry, so get your family together. And I think I'm going to go find a family of my own, and I'll meet you somewhere. And he disappears. That was a wow ending.
The Godspeed thing, yes, I agree with. It was better than last issue for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I still I don't know. It was a little corny to me that, Zoom's getting a Zoom family. I mean, Reverse Flash getting a Reverse Flash family. I mean, so it's like, I don't know. I didn't love it as much as you did.
I think Bartor is going to come back. That's for sure. I don't know. I mean, again, it's finished.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just, it's. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You're fine. Go ahead.
It's just been so hit and miss this run for me, and I can't like fully get behind it because it's been so many ups and downs, and I've dropped it and picked it back up and dropped it in. Yeah, so
It's been very long.
I feel like he created all these new characters throughout his run since the New 52, and now systematically he's getting rid of all of them before his run is over.
Which kind of sucks because I mean, I like seeing the new characters and just to kind of like do away with them all and just Yeah,
I thought Godspeed would have been a nice person to have in like anti-hero gallery for Flash.
I mean, a version of Godspeed even popped up in the Flash TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's weird. And yes, Manos, they went back to the numbering. I forgot when, but they did go back to the classic numbering.
A while ago.
With, what was it, with 700, right?
I think with 700, yeah.
All right, so that's it for Flash?
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to some more big books. We talked about Batman Adventures, so we're not going to talk about that one, but we'll talk about Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 17.
So good. I like this book.
I read it. For me, though, I don't remember what happened. I thought it was
Dum Dum Dugan showed up. There was a beginning with Spidey, with Miles.
Okay.
And then he gets confronted by the Cradle Crew, which is led by Dum Dum Dugan. And he beats them. He beats the crap out of all of them. Stealths away, says, I know what my competition is. Goes off, and then he has a conversation with his mom and dad about the whole situation. And the mom's kind of on their side, but at the same time, she's working on her son. And then something happens at the end of the issue where I think the evil older Miles is back. And that's where
that's right. And
what?
then
Am I the only one that actually liked this book? I thought it was good.
No.
I had. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Brant.
No, because I'm probably going to say the same thing. So go ahead.
When I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is where we're going with this. Like, that's exactly what I was thinking. And then when I was reading this book, and then when I went to go get my comics for the show, and I was putting that kind of like that final order together, I'm like, Miles Morales, what the heck was this book about? For me, there was nothing memorable for me about it. I'm glad you liked it. I think the action parts, were the highlight of the book, but for a tie-in, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's my thing. I had the same exact issue as you when I was ranking my books, like as we started the show, because I was late ranking my books. I was like, what the heck happened to Miles Morales? I can't remember anything. So it was kind of just not memorable for me until now I remember that you describe it, Chris, but it's like, the action, and the one takeaway I had from it was Gonki got rid of the ponytail. Good for him. That was my major takeaway.
At least something good happened.
Exactly. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's really weird because I have enjoyed this series more than all of us so far, and then now this one.
You got it. I'm not reading it, so.
Well, I picked it up because I know you guys were mentioning like the Ultimate Universe could possibly come back again, right? So, or kind of. So I was like, oh, now's the time to jump on while this all outlawed thing is going on, and then we go into that. So I was like, okay. And then I read this, and I'm like, God dang it, man. I'm like, I've been venomed. I mean, that's exactly the way I looked at it, So I was like, I'm not going to drop it, though. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to see how the story turns out. And
that's what I said with Venom. It never got better, so.
Shut up, Kat. You're ruining things again. You're venoming things again. You're venoming things again, Kat. Somebody who does art, draw a picture of Kat venomized.
Do I want to see that? I don't know.
Getting into comics and venomizing them. Why? That would actually be cool, actually. I want a venomized cover. I want a venomized character, too.
But I'm glad you liked it, Chris. So you enjoyed it, though. That's fine, man. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading Miles, so maybe I'm less burnt out than everybody else.
I just miss
haven't been reading
the old
it either.
school Miles stories.
All right, so we talked about Batman Adventures, like I said. So we're going to go on to our number 4. And my number 4 is Black Cat issue 11.
Stop reading my list, Mike.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Black Cat was pretty good, man. I loved like the heist that she was going after, you know, for Tony Stark to try to get all his information. And she needed an armor, man, to, I guess, go to the next step. You know, to, I guess, go against Odessa Drake, I guess. Like that armor's the key to their whole transporter thing, you know. I was kind of lost in that part of the story, like why they need the armor and everything. But I was like, but her actually interacting with Tony and how to get to from point A to point B was amazing, because it's like, it's definitely something like you would see in the movie. You know, you would be like, all right, how do we plan to get inside Tony Stark's office? Oh, we can do this. And you see the action in the story, and then you see the other panel as them discussing it. It was awesome, man. And that armor that she wound up building at the end, I was like, totally did not expect that. I'm like, Black Cat and an Iron Man armor? I'm like, that is freaking awesome.
I love how, so, you know, what the heck? Just add some ears to it, too. It's like, that's so cool. I didn't know what she was doing in there. And then when that came out, it's like, oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, and I love that it took, like, their whole team to figure out how can we dupe Tony Stark for, like, 10 minutes. Because that's all we're going to be able to do. And, and then, like, the whole, you know, he likes redheads, so let's go with that, and you know, all this kind of.
That was in my panel.
Yeah, the way the whole plan came together, I agree with you. It was just a fantastic issue. This book has been good, but it's been steadily improving. Yeah, this past arc has been really good. And this issue was fantastic. Yeah,
I think that we have, now that there's been a few issues, like we got a chance to kind of tell the story, right?
Yeah.
So, and you get to see, like, you know, it get better as it goes along. So I'm happy that this book is hanging around and people are giving it a chance. The sales are not the best in it, but I think more people should give it a chance, because this is a book that is under the radar, you know, because people will look at it and like, why am I going to buy a Black Cat series?
Yeah.
And I was one of those people at first. I'm like, yeah, do we really need this? But I tell you, man, they captured her voice pretty good, and I kind of like her team in this issue. You know, I thought they worked really well together.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was my number 4. So Kat, what was yours?
Mine was the Joker 100-page anthology. Is 3 stars. So I do think this was one of the better anthologies. I thought most of the stories were pretty consistent. You had the punchline story. I really like the Dan Mora story, where Batman dies and we get to see what happens to the Joker if Batman's not around and he becomes like a pencil pusher. Overall, I thought all the stories were pretty solid for this one, and told all the different eras of Joker, which is exactly what you would want.
That's cool. I only read the punchline story, to tell you the truth.
And that's totally okay. It was long, just like all the other ones. At least with Green Lantern, we have different lanterns. Like, the thing is with these, is just like, okay, you have one character that you're seeing over and over again. Yeah,
and it's just like, and as great as those stories might be, like, it's kind of like, do I want to read just a little short story here and there, and it doesn't really mean anything as a tribute? I think it's a cool issue to have in your collection. But you know, when you read so many comic books like we do, it's kind of hard, you know, to.
I had so little, it was an okay week for me to do it, but I think if I had more, it would have been a little harder.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm glad you liked it, though. Kind of.
By default.
Stars.
Yeah. It was better than I expected, in all honesty.
Right. All right. And Chris.
Miles Morales.
I love that you
That's
whimper
all right.
that.
I liked it. I'm sorry. I liked it.
Don't be sorry for liking a book. It's fine.
Yeah. Just because we don't like it doesn't mean that it's wrong that you liked it.
I
Don't
mean,
want you to feel that way.
Can you imagine if Michael was sorry every week?
Michael should
He
be
wouldn't
sorry
be.
sometimes, though.
Well, he likes what he likes.
He should be
so.
sorry that he doesn't read more books. That's what he
Yeah.
should be sorry
That's what I
about.
mean.
He's got to try some indies more, I think. He's got to try those out.
Yeah, I think he would enjoy them.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know why he doesn't try them.
I think he doesn't read, like, he doesn't go through the list to read descriptions of new books. I think he just knows what he likes and goes for that.
That's true.
All right, so let's move on. We just talked about Joker, and we just talked about Black Cat. So let's just jump into our number threes. And my number 3 book is Adventure Man issue 1. Yes,
Mine too. Mine was Adventure Man. So
okay.
Wow.
Mine was not.
So we're going to go on to Brant now.
Well, it is a book we already talked about, though. Excellence, number 7.
Okay, so I tried there, bud.
Yeah, I know.
Chris?
Archangel 8 issue number 2. I like how
It's
this
quite
story,
interesting.
it is, and the agent that he's going against or trying to get this crime lord to team up with him to go against is now sowing seeds of doubt into Archangel. And I'm very interested to see now who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. Is the guy he's working for, Gabriel, really a good guy, or is he a bad guy? Is this agent really an issue, or is he being framed for something else, or is he just a target because he knew something else maybe? I don't know. I love the action in this book too.
Supposedly the bad guy is the Del Mar character. That's what we're led to believe, right? And because like right from the start you see him chopping off the guy's pinky with a butcher axe.
Yeah.
I was like,
this was a big graphic, this book. Pinkies and eyeballs and a few other things.
Yeah. My only problem with these AWA books is the art is so dark and gritty that I feel that the characters get lost
in the dark.
Yeah, it's like you got to remember this is a new series, new universe. Well, I know these are different, they're not long stories, but I feel like if you need to get to know a character and recognize the character, they can't be covered by dark shadows and things like that. And that's my one problem with a lot of these books. It's the same with I read that.
Oh yeah, Old Haunts.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk. We're gonna catch on that. I think that's kind of
it's in the big books.
Okay, so it's kind of the same thing. Like you get introduced to these characters, and they kind of all look the same, and it's just like, and it makes you hard to follow who character is who. So that's my only problem with the book. I thought Archangel was a pretty interesting story. It wasn't in my top 5, but it definitely warrants continuing reading because I want to see where this goes. So I like it.
It gives me a very strong Punisher / Rambo feel because.
Oh, definitely Punisher feel.
Definitely Punisher. I would say Rambo just because he's good at what he does. And whereas Rambo does what he does for his country, this guy is kind of like he does what he does for his agency, if that makes sense.
Right.
I would have never compared it to Rambo. That's an interesting comparison there, but I understand what you're saying.
The way he goes about doing things is very Rambo-esque.
Okay. I did not get to read this issue.
Me
Read
either.
it and you'll feel Rambo.
I'm just waiting for the fight girls. That's where I'm at. That's where I live. I live on the island and I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
Technically you do live on an island.
I do.
That is true.
And I fight girls. And
all right, so Kat, yours?
That mine was Adventure Man. We talked about it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yours was the same as mine. That's right.
Mike, your audio just went way down.
That happened last week too.
Really? Is it better or no?
No, it went away last time. So
okay.
We'll let you know if it doesn't go away.
All right. Okay. Can you still hear me though?
You can, but it's a little muffled.
All right. I might go off and just fix it. right. So go ahead and
Okay.
start talking about Justice League.
Justice League. Wonder Woman leading the Justice League against the Amazon or her Amazon sisters, now under the influence of the Spectre, was it? Yes,
Yeah,
I believe it
the
was the
Spectre.
Spectre. And I love how she led the Justice League in this issue.
I like that panel, the one you show. That was cool.
Yes, that was my favorite panel.
Yeah.
That brilliant panel of the week. Go ahead, Brant.
Yeah, no, I was just agreeing. I love the way that she commanded them as an army, basically, and because she knows the Amazon so well, and she was like, "This is what they're going to do first. You handle this, you handle that." It was beautiful the way that she directed it. Yeah,
Yes.
That was probably the best part of the issue for me.
For me, that was the best part of the issue. And then when you get back to the talking heads a lot, like after that fight where they're debating about finding James Corrigan and stuff like that, it's like, and then they find him. They talk for a little bit. They find out that they released this Omega-sized evil monster thing, and that's where the book kind of leaves you off. I really, the shining part was the fight and Wonder Woman just leading. I like how Vendetti is giving each character a chance at leading the Justice League, so it shows that there's no clean-cut leader. Like they always say it's Batman. Yeah. It's not. Everybody has had a role at leading the team so far.
Yeah, they all play into their strengths, which is really cool.
Did you catch Vendetti's little Easter egg with the Green Lantern Corps?
Which no,
when John Stewart uses his ring and it
I noticed that. Yeah,
I thought that was great because Vendetti worked on Green Lantern.
Oh, that okay. Gotcha.
I love that panel also, but I really love panels.
That's cool. The funny thing is the least interesting part to me was the Spectre stuff, which is like the whole point of the arc.
Sounds like that's always the least interesting part. Is Spectre.
Right. Yeah. So and then it's like this, the big bad gets released from Tartarus, and that's going to be the next thing. So it's like, okay, where's this going? I don't know, but yeah, the stuff with Wonder Woman was really cool.
Well, we lost Mike for a little while. Hopefully he comes back. But I think the next one is he doesn't want to come back. It's Go Power Rangers.
No, maybe I should leave.
The final issue.
The final
Mega Rangers are born.
Well, the final issue of this series, Brant. You're still going to hear about Power Rangers,
right? Yeah, Mighty Morphin, right?
Because those two are still happening. Yeah. I thought it was a very strong ending. I think it filled the gap between Mighty Morphin and Go with the Omega Ranger arc. I liked it. I thought it was really great. Sad to see it go, but it lasted 32 issues, and for a prequel comic series, that's a lot.
I really enjoyed this. I read another Power Rangers book that hasn't come out, and I really don't want to speak on this issue and get it confused. So, but I will say I really like the bookend of this, just the go poeticness of, how these characters are growing apart, but are still Rangers. And I think they did a beautiful job at making this a great character story. And yeah, I love Power Rangers. I think Ryan and Cena Grace have done a really good job with this series and just the franchise as a whole. So right in time, Mike comes in after we talk about Power Rangers.
He timed it just
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, good.
We discussed all the big books, and one was Power Rangers.
I'm sad that I missed Power Rangers.
So sad.
All right. So we're moving on to number 2 then?
Yep.
Okay, my number 2 was Batman issue 92. So we definitely talked about that.
All for that Bat train.
Come on, ride that train. That Bat train. Oh yeah.
It's on number 6 on my Bat train.
Brant?
I'm sorry. My number 2 is Adventure Man. So we already talked about it.
We were one off from that one.
Yeah.
Chris?
Daredevil 20. We already talked about it.
All right. So just like that, we move on to one of the biggest books of the year. Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, please.
The Gold Lantern.
When I saw that it was one panel, and I know you mentioned last week, if they do only one panel in Legion, I'm going to go crazy. I died. I was like, oh, yeah. That's what
I mentioned it. I said it, and it's exactly what happened. I couldn't believe it, man. And the thing that made it worse is like, yeah, he's the Gold Lantern. Wait till you hear his story.
I know, right? Like,
and Brant mentioned it in the comment in our chat too. I was like, that's so funny.
I am so happy I don't read Legion of Superheroes. I'll never read Legion of Superheroes, and I'll never have to know. I'll never need to know the Gold Lantern ever. I'm good. Really good.
I don't care.
Nightwing Annual didn't come out last week. His number 2 is Nightwing Annual.
Yeah, I guess he meant the Nightwing regular issue. Did that come? Yeah, that came out this week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that came out. Yeah, no, I don't care about the Gold Lantern, but I do like Legion of Superheroes. This wasn't the best issue, but yeah, it was just like, really, we basically got trolled, but it was a Bendis thing to do for sure, right? Like, introduce this character and be like, yeah, you'll hear more about him later.
When later? That's what I want to know.
When I leave Superman in 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. But he's leaving soon. Don't worry. We actually probably should mention that. He said that, last episode we said Bendis was leaving soon. He reiterated soon does not actually mean soon.
Yeah.
So
it's probably going to be like 2
soon
years.
or later.
Like one day he's going to leave Superman is pretty much what he's saying.
Nobody wants to touch on Daredevil being nominated for an Eisner. Daredevil was nominated.
There, we touched upon it. There we go.
Sentient was nominated, and there was another Image book that was nominated recently, and I don't know which Image book. There was another Image book that was nominated.
We usually don't run down through the Eisners here.
We don't, but there was another Image book that got it on Twitter. I saw somebody was congratulating another Image book.
I know. Oh shit. Undiscovered Country.
That might be.
No.
Well, we did give Daredevil lots of praise on this show today. So, Eisner Award, they
were listening.
It's good stuff, man. Like I said, I think that deserves it based off of what I read.
I read it, Manos.
I think Chris is, I would say, the only one who's enjoying it, right?
I am.
Mercy, yeah.
Artwork's gorgeous. Story for me is personally an up and down type of thing. I think it has potential. I think it's definitely... I think it's a good written story. I just think it has to hit the right audience.
Which one is that?
Mercy.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, all right. So let's talk about this book, the Old Haunts issue 1 from AWA. So it's like a hitman book. Like, this is old hitmen that are retired, trying to, these two guys are getting out of it. One guy is still trying to stay in it, but they said, if we get out, all of us are out, you got to get out too. They kind of made this deal. And they obviously did a lot of bad stuff, because you can obviously see all the bodies that they buried over the years in the dirt of, what were they? They were in Las Vegas, right? Was that where they were?
I think so.
I
don't remember. It's been a while since I read it.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But
I felt like it was a slow beginning, but then as you got to the middle and the end, that's where the story meat started to come up, and it started to really build up a bit more for me.
Right. And I think these characters, same thing. I kind of got lost. There was 2 characters that got beards. Like, one's got a beard, one's got a goatee. So you kind of get confused, again, because of the lack of detail that's in the characters. But at the end of the book, you get to see kind of what the characters actually look like, and you get to distinguish them more a little bit there. But you don't know that if this is actually ghosts that are haunting these characters, or this is some kind of manifestation from all the years that they've done this killing that all of a sudden started to haunt them. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take on this particular book, because one guy started seeing shit, started seeing this weird bird or whatever it was. And for some reason, like, with all the people that they killed, they like sliced X's in money in coins, and they like stuck them in their skeleton eyes. So it's kind of like their trademark thing. So really interesting story.
Yeah, that goes back to, some cultures do that, right? They put the coins in their eyes. I forget the reason. But it was an interesting story, and I remember enjoying it. It's but I didn't remember a whole lot about it. I had to look back through it to remember what it was about. It's like I appreciate aspects of it. I appreciate the horror aspect of it with them kind of coming back. At the same time, I'm not sure that it's really my thing, so I don't know if I'll stick with it or not.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think this is another story that you gotta give some time.
Right.
Because
it's definitely on my lower. It's definitely lower on my favorite books from AWA, but it's still like you're saying, Mike. I'm still gonna stick with it and see where it goes.
Yeah. Because this wasn't in my top 5 either. So, but it was still, again, a different story. I like how these stories are different, a little darker. And so I keep going with it. Can't wait for Hotel, man.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain vibe you get from AWA titles, but they're still all different. So
I'm not reading Hotel issue 2. I'll let you know that.
I can't wait.
You can read about the kid who I don't even remember. The kid wanted to do something.
The demon baby.
Yeah, something happened with the demon baby and the mom.
Than some devil baby breastfeeding on it. Like I don't think anything could be creepier than that.
That's something Brant has to read every week.
It's Faithless 2 and Hotel issue 2.
So all right. So let's go on to the number 1 book. Number one was
Mike, did you want to discuss Nightwing? Because we were talking about it before. And
okay. Yeah. So let's talk about Nightwing. So
what did you think of Dickie Boy issue 72?
What's that?
What did you think of Dickie Boy issue 72?
Yeah, Dickie Boy. It should be /Nightwing Dickie Boy.
It was a Deadpool book, it would be.
So this book basically has Daredevil ripoff Rick Grayson, going against Tusk, which that in itself is a throwaway part, right? It's just to get you to the end. His girlfriend Beatrice is met up with the Joker. He realizes that Dick has to meet up and save his girlfriend, and you see Dick and the Joker come face to face. He's got that quarter of owl amulet that was used to change his persona. And so now he is hypnotizing Dick Grayson to become the person that took over or raised him after his parents' death in the circus. So we're not going to see Rick Grayson anymore. We're going to see the Joker be the father of Dick Grayson for some time.
So Joker's role reversing. So instead of being raised by Batman, Dick's going to be raised by Joker.
Right. So, and he just makes that one comment. He's like, "Oh, your name's Dickie Boy," and then Dick is like, "I'm Dickie Boy," and I'm like, "What the heck is happening in this book right now?" But nevertheless, though, it makes for a cool twist, and it exits out that Rick Grayson stuff, and now. Again, Joker's going to have an ally going into this whole Joker war thing. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's the best part of the book was where the next issue is leading into. It's like you said, there were some good aspects of the book, but mostly I feel like it was to get you to the ending and then the ending. And it's like, okay, now we're getting into the Joker war. At least this book didn't sell out. There was no reason for 70 to sell out, but I mean, 71 didn't at least sell out.
Right.
So is he really called Dickie Boy now? Like,
no,
I think that's just something Joker did.
He was just messing with him. Okay. It was right before the really the hypnotation process. He was just kind of screwing with them.
Gotcha.
You know how Joker is. He's trying to get his kicks up, so. But it was all right. All right, so number 1 now. We'll talk about that. My number 1 is the book we already talked about, and it was actually Daredevil issue 20. So, Brant, yours was?
Batman.
I knew it. Skipping over Cat, because it wasn't yours. Chris?
Adventure Man number 1. I really enjoyed this issue.
Good.
Mine
Cat,
was
Runaways.
Power Rangers.
Oh, you got
Runaways. Runaways didn't come out.
Runaways came out this week. It's my favorite book.
The first
I don't even
issue
know
of
what
Runaways
Runaways is
like
coming out.
years ago. It's her #1 book because
Yeah,
nothing-
exactly. I couldn't give it to Batman, so I wanted to really give it to that Brian K. Vaughan Runaways issue 1.
So was Power Rangers a foil cover? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's
Boom Studios is doing a lot of foil covers now.
We're doing a lot of Marvel stuff.
It folds a little bit though. If I have to complain a little, it warps. Like if you open it,
Mm.
it kind of.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
understandable.
both. Yeah.
But they're doing Mega Man issue 1 with a foil variant. Boom Studios.
That's cool.
And it's the same price. It wasn't extra money. It was-
Not extra
Yeah,
money.
why not?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wish that the other companies would take up the foil. I know that DC tempted with Superman, but we haven't seen any since. It's really just a Boom Studios kind of trademark right now.
I mean,
No, it's
good
going
for
through
them.
my
Hell yeah!
comic collection, and I came through the Villains Month covers again.
I mean, I've got a whole wall of their chrome covers from Power Rangers. So I mean,
Oh, there you go.
man.
Yeah, those DC gimmicks were. I think when they stopped the gatefolds, remember there was like, we're done.
Yeah,
I like the gatefold. I actually thought it was kind of
I
interesting.
like the lenticular covers they did once a year. That was nice.
Yeah, they're done with that. They're just releasing about 20 anthologies a year
Yeah,
instead.
that's about it. Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up the big books and our top 5 of the week. So no one's chopping anything. So
No.
Nobody's chopping anything, so there's no
Not
chop
yet.
off again.
no,
This is,
so
second time in a row.
That's
so
good. That's very good.
let's move on to Brant. We talk about anticipated books.
Yeah. We really just should start calling it anticipated. We never call it key issues.
It's just for fanciness. We just call it.
Yeah,
Call it
possible key issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's so many books. I'm gonna run through a few of these because only one of us wanted to
You
talk
guys
about
said
them.
you weren't getting anything.
Then the ending, and Brant can go eat. Yeah, absolutely. I got taco salad waiting in there for me.
Tacos.
Strange Adventures 2. Kat wants to talk about this one.
Yeah,
You looking
I
forward
liked
to it?
issue 1, and I haven't been the hugest Tom King fan in a while, but I think this was like good Tom King writing, in the vein of Mr. Miracle and all his others. So I'm excited for issue 2.
I like the first issue, so we'll see how issue 2 goes. We've been asked to talk about it, so I'll go ahead. Dark Knight's Death Metal issue 1. I don't care.
I don't care. I'm reading it because everyone wants us to read it. In all honesty, like if I was not a critic, I wouldn't be reading this book.
I'm gonna be honest. They spent an entire year of Year of the Villain to get to Death Metal. At this point, it better be damn good. That's all I'm gonna say.
I did not like.
I did not like Metal. The only thing I liked about Metal was the rock concert at the end. It's the only thing I liked.
Rock on, baby.
That is it.
We'll see. I mean, it has promise.
Yeah.
Again,
I'm getting there.
story that takes place in the past. So we'll see.
It's one of those things right now where it's like it's
What
kind
else
of
is
the
there
only
going
thing
on?
that's really going on. So check it out, see what it's about. It might surprise you. You might like it. And I actually bought a whole bunch of trades regarding the original Metal series, and just to kind of catch up with it and to kind of read it like the way it should be read, I think, in the trade form, because that was the issue with it.
I want to get the Wonder Woman art germ for this. That's like the one reason I'm like, oh, that looks good.
And to actually piggyback off of this, Todd McFarlane is releasing a figure set with some of the metal figures from the previous series, the Batman, the different types of Batman.
Oh, really?
A few of them, the Doomsday, the Green Lantern. I think they have Batman. And I forget who the fourth one was. There was a fourth one. I forget who the fourth one was now. Can't remember. I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Yeah. All right. The book that Kat and I are not reading, Hotel, #2.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
be reading
I'm
it.
good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Hotel, come on, you gotta get disturbed just one more time.
It wasn't even that. It's just like I was so bored reading it. And then we got to that. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, I same. All right. So a book that apparently Chris might try, Lady Zorro #1.
Oh, Pat Chan's
It
writing
depends
it.
on.
Oh, is he really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Pat Chan's writing it. Change that to an X. Pat Chan's writing
I'm
it.
not
It's
going
getting
to.
an X.
Okay.
Yeah,
I knew Brant was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
You're a jerk.
We know.
Fine. It
We
doesn't
know
matter.
that you're
You know now I'm reading it, so it doesn't. I have a lot of books next week, so anything that's a number one is getting a maybe. But if Pat's writing it, it's getting bumped up to a yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just saw that. I mean, I'm not a huge Zorro fan, so I have to see if I'm gonna pick it up or not. But
Ladies
Yeah, I
Zorro
saw-
arcs, I've read a few. They're hit or miss. If Pat's writing it, this is a more than likely hit. So
you have to let us know.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Resistance number 2, another one from AWA. I actually like the first issue of
This
that
was
one.
I think probably the one I enjoyed the most of the AWA so far.
This
But
is
I'm
the
not
one
reading.
that's kicking off the universe.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
I
the
think
one
so.
where they had the pandemic and they solved it, and there was few people that were resistant against it, but
Oh, yeah.
they formed abilities from it. So some people are going to be good, some will be evil. So that's what we're going to eventually get to.
Which was the one where the couple crossed the border and got taken in by the
Red
Border.
Red Border, yeah. I like that one too.
That was really good.
That's
Yeah.
next week, or is it this week too?
No, it's
There are
not
a few this
I don't
week.
think.
No, then it's next week. Then it's definitely next week.
Yeah. A book that Chris enjoyed that I did not, Ludocrats, number 2.
I'm going to be trying issue 2, and we'll see if that ends up on my chop block, because I think this is going to be the deciding factor.
Okay. Family Tree number 6.
I mean, that cliffhanger, man.
Yes, man.
I'm
Gosh.
excited.
Michael
That
should be
clip-
here.
Yeah, that cliffhanger was amazing.
See what happens when Michael listens to us? He likes that book.
Michael
and
has
totally
Yeah.
a problem of only half hearing people sometimes.
He's got to read Red Mother. I feel like he would love
Yeah.
that book.
Yeah,
Mother?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We got a couple of new number 1s from Boom and Image. We'll go with A Man Among Ye, number 1 from Image.
I'm looking
I'm
forward
excited
to
for
that.
that. Yeah, it's based on a real female pirate, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely different.
Yeah.
and
for
the art
sure.
looks good too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah,
as
it
a
looks-
Sea of Thieves fan, I had to buy it.
Yeah, it looked really interesting. I thought that would definitely be one that caught our interest. And then Wind number 1 from Boom looked like something right up my alley. So I'm looking forward to
I think
that
I
one.
put a maybe for that because I
That's
Yeah,
the
you
one
did.
by
I'm gonna look at
Tinian.
that. I'm going to look at
Yeah.
that.
That's the one by Tinian.
Yeah.
I think I'm
So-
skipping it just because I really don't like fantasy. So
Yeah. I do.
I think the
I'm a
maybe
huge
was
fan.
because it depends how much words Tinian puts into.
that's true too. That's true.
Yeah.
It's a lot to
We'll
read.
see.
It'll be the last thing I read if I get to it,
Got a couple of Marvel digital books, Valkyrie number 10.
which should
And-
be physical.
Yeah. And Ghost Spider number 10, which
Which
Cat's
should be
already kind of
physical.
teased.
Yeah, I
Which-
can't say anything about Ghost Spider. I haven't read those issues yet. I just read the ending. So I'll tell you
So
guys
she's a-
after.
She is an ending hopper. She jumps to the end and then
No,
goes-
I read
she's
something.
Chris.
No,
She's
I
really-
didn't.
Yeah. Hey,
I read the-
embrace your Chris. You
I
go
read the
to-
letters page of the ending because there was a letters page. So I didn't read the actual ending
That
of the
even
book.
means
don't know.
more
Don't
of.
lie. We all
Um,
the letters at the end just to
I'll
see
tell you
that.
guys. Don't worry. There's more to the story. I'll let you know after this, and you guys
Well,
will all find out tomorrow.
I know
but-
what it is. Cat's taking over as writer.
Yeah, you didn't
That
know.
would-
Oh,
That'd be
look at that. Now we're gonna have to push to get it back out physically.
Yeah, no, I just write Ghost Spider for free. That's for sure. Yes, Ghost Spider. I'm writing it next issue. This issue. It's been a crazy roller
That's the
coaster.
news. Yeah.
That's
That's
the
what
news.
she's been
It's
up to.
not the news.
In the midst
but-
of Kickstarter of all things.
in the mix of it's been a crazy whirlwind. But yeah, Jane Foster, very excited for that book and hope it continues as well. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Absolutely. Both fantastic books. Birthright number 44 as we wind down this series. Yeah. It's been good the past couple issues. It's been really picking up the ending because I was getting a little concerned. It was kind of slow, but now it finally picked things back up and you got this whole lore war basically. So yeah.
That's good.
All right.
I'm loving the war. I'm really excited, and I'm just curious how they're gonna end it all.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, I am too. I can't wait. Only one of us cares about this book at all, I think, maybe. Savage Dragon 249.
Yes, me.
I knew you'd want to talk about that one. Almost 250. Wow.
That's
Crazy.
the
in
thing.
250, it's gonna be all nudity. The whole
Yeah.
book.
No,
I hope so. I hope
No,
everyone's
Just dragon sex.
that would be one hell of a milestone issue. The past couple issues haven't been about that, but nevertheless, I think 249 is going to be kind of good because it's like supposedly Dragon is going against the return of the Six, it's called. And one of Eric Larson's main storylines when he wrote Spider-Man was the return of the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
So I kind of find it funny that he's kind of playing back to that maybe a little bit. So I thought that's kind of cool. And I'm looking forward to 250 because I know not a ton of people read Savage Dragon. I think for him to keep that story going as long as it has is pretty awesome. That's funny.
Oh, I'm getting dizzy from laughing about that one.
Yeah, I get that. That's kind of how I feel all the time when you guys talk about Power Rangers.
Oh, dude, when we talk Power Rangers.
Speaking of, no.
Speaking of, let's talk about Power Rangers that doesn't come out.
Let's talk about Power Rangers TMNT number 5. It doesn't.
It does come out.
Yeah, it does come out.
I feel like it's been forever.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the end. I'm really excited.
Turtle Sword is coming in the next issue.
I can't wait for this. It's been such a good book. I never thought I'd say that about a Power Rangers book.
Well, it's because turtles are carrying them.
I'm telling you, it's Ryan Parrott, man. He's really good.
He is
a good
really
writer.
Good. He is really good, and I can't wait to see how it wraps up.
You guys said some good things about it, and if Brant likes it, then I might pick this up when it comes out on trade.
Oh, you definitely
you should. You would like it. I promise you, you're gonna like it.
I will definitely make a hardcover to go along with the stuff I got for my birthday. So
cool. And the last one we had to talk about is Young Justice number 15.
I'm not excited.
I'm not excited. I just exited because I'm reading it.
How many people are on that team right now?
Oh, so many. They still haven't ended that arc.
It doesn't feel like Young Justice. It feels like, hey, Brian Michael Bendis wanted to write Young Justice, so this is what he'd do if he got a hold of
what I'm excited for.
That's exactly
I'm excited to see Stephanie's face. That's on it. It doesn't matter about the story. I just want to see
Stephanie's new character name. She's not going to be spoiler anymore. Her new character name is going to be Brown.
It's
just Brown. You know what? It doesn't matter to me. Her name could be whatever. Just need the face. Just need to know she exists. It's
going to be SB.
SB.
Stop SB.
Yeah. Spoiler
so
Brown.
Is Naomi still in the book?
Yep.
She's still in it.
Everybody's
she's a mainstay of the team. She's going to be a mainstay of the team.
I don't mind all the characters being in the book, but I would rather be like Justice League, where it's kind of like a rotating cast. You know,
I agree.
Or like
Avengers or something like that. Still lost again? Did he get the last issue I read? Like he got re-lost, and he's still.
Like I was saying, nothing has changed since you've last read it.
No,
pretty much. Yeah,
that's it. Disappointment.
I know it is, but that's all the books we got to talk about. So
with that is it for this show. Does anybody have anything they're like, well, actually, Brant and Kat, you definitely have something you want to talk about before we close out the show, so I'm going to turn this over to you both.
Let's plug these. So, Brant, if you want to start out, and I don't know do you have the print or like in front of you, or no, you want me to screen share it?
If you have it handy, I can pull it up, but if you have it handy already.
I would like to thank all 32 viewers who have been with us throughout this entire show. We hope you enjoyed. So I'll do that as a little segue for you guys. So hopefully you all enjoyed the show. We do this every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So now that Brant has the image up, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the image. Brant, you could start with your pitch, and then I'll go to mine.
Yeah. Well, first, if you back both of ours at a physical level, you can get that print. So that's really cool. And so the Last Ember issue 1 Reforged, 60-page book combining issue 0 and 1 with extra content. The last fire goddess. She doesn't know it. She doesn't know why she has these powers. She has to figure out what that means and how it's going to affect her life and her family, all while avoiding school bullies and people trying to kill her. There you go.
And like Father Like Daughter, it's about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her. And then she inherits his abilities. And issue 5, we actually learn that Casey, our main character's mom, has been the villain the whole entire time. And she works for the KGB. So this issue that we're launching is really her origin story, and we get the motives of why Jessica's been doing all this, which is a lot of fun. And we're both funded, so that means if you back up the Kickstarter, you will guarantee to get these books. So, which is really cool. And the more backers we get, the better possibilities of doing more issues and making the product even better. And it really helps us out. Kickstarters are a really, really stressful time. So when we see even a tick of $1, it really does make our world.
Yeah, it definitely boosts our morale. That's for sure.
Oh, today's been a morale day where I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
that would really help.
And both of them in next Thursday on June 25th. So go check them out.
We also have tree bark wax. In regards to each Kickstarter, which pledge tiers get all issues available physical if possible. So physical for me, all issues available is like, I think the $40 tier. You could get the digital version for $25, all issues. If you just want issue 6, is the $10 tier. And Brant, you only have one issue. So what's the physical tier for that?
Yeah, it's $18 and then I have a couple of variant cover options that are a little higher. So.
And same here for the variant covers for issue 6. But for Brant, he's just doing issue 1. For me, it's issues 1 through 6. We really appreciate that, tree bark.
And as far as I go, just regular videos. Some stuff is returning as time moves forward. And the review went up late. It actually went up this evening because internet and the cell phones yesterday were all wonky for some reason.
I heard about T-Mobile being down.
Yeah.
T-Mobile went down. My cell phone was down, and then my internet was getting spotty. I don't know if they were trying to fix
that was very nice. Thank you so much.
JD.
Oh, man.
Thank you, JD, man. That was
Another
awesome.
$10. That's $15.
Thank you.
Thank you so much throughout
Very
the
nice.
whole show today.
Really appreciate that. Yeah.
And JD's been doing all the edits for my videos the past 2 weeks. He's been awesome.
really cool.
So definitely come
Thank
check
you,
out
Brant.
the videos. Leave some comments. Let us know what you think of the new format, because that's the new format on my channel. Mike, you have anything you'd like to share that's going on?
No, just look forward to the new comic book day haul tomorrow. That will be posted tomorrow afternoon, and nothing else. Just the normal videos as planned. And thank you guys who are watching the live stream on my channel and on Comic Frontline as well. And thank you for the super chats tonight. That's really appreciative. We work hard, and I'm glad you guys really show that support and love to each and every one of us. So thank you.
Yep. And don't forget, if you are new, click that sub button. This way we're in your subscription box. You don't miss out on a single video. In Cat's box, you got the notification bell to be notified when new videos and live streams happen. Don't forget Brant's box, where he has the thumbs up. Show YouTube you love this video by giving it a beautiful thumbs up. And then Mike's pointing to the Comic Frontline, where you can find us all across social media. However, if you'd like to find our individual channels, one of these days I'll have the button readily available. You can check us out at all our social medias right here. Mike is just an expert pointer. Till next week, everybody. Take care. Have a great new comic book day, and we'll see you all in the next one.
All Mike has to do is point down.